Hello to all of you wonderful moms out there. This is episode 94 of Achieve Your Ambitious Mom Life. I'm your host, Anoki Kapasi, and I'm here to empower you with life planning tools so that you can envision and plan and take action on your big ideas while being able to prioritize your family. Have you ever felt guilty for wanting more in your career? You spent so many long years acquiring the skills to become a trained professional, maybe a scientist like me with a PhD, or a lawyer or a doctor. Maybe you worked in the corporate world. I know you're proud of being a mom, but maybe you think that it's selfish to also want these things outside of being a mom. And somehow, you've made it this far. You've been showing up for work every day and showing up for your beautiful family. But now you're wondering if you should change the kind of work you do, yet the thought of making a career change feels a little selfish. You're already living what many people think is a successful life. You do have it all in a sense. You're a successful working mom. But the truth is that thousands of women are probably thinking the same thing right along with you. You want to change because your heart is calling out for more. And you want to change because you don't feel like you can completely fulfill your potential in your current job. Maybe the change is so you can have some more flexibility or to increase your financial independence. Your career transition might involve a downshift, or maybe the opposite. You're trying to level up in some way. Whatever it is, you can pursue a career that works for you instead of the other way around. Not only can you blend success and motherhood, but you can also create a life where you can be everything that you need to be for your kids, your career, even yourself, without the guilt. Today, I'm sharing a powerful mindset shift that transforms career guilt into confident leadership. So, if you're ready to stop feeling torn about the impact that your career change is going to have on your family, then you're going to find this episode a breath of fresh air. Are you looking for a way to blend success and motherhood without losing sight of who you are? I get it. I've been there too. Hi, I'm Anoki, a PhD researcher, business owner, and homeschooling mom of 2 boys. As your life coach, I help moms like you create a life you love at home and at work. If you're ready to stop feeling overwhelmed, overscheduled, and overlooked, and want a clear roadmap to a balanced life, a meaningful career, and finally feeling like yourself again while being the awesome mama that you are, you're in the right place. In this journey to create the life you truly desire, it's time to rediscover your dreams and achieve your ambitious mom life. If you enjoy the Achieve Your Ambitious Mom Life podcast, please take a moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, as it helps more ambitious moms decide whether this is the show for them. Your feedback not only improves the show, but also builds our supportive community of purpose-driven mamas. One listener shared, "Finally, a refreshing podcast. I've been bored and looking for new motivational and growth mindset podcasts. So exciting to hear more. Gina from the Pruning to Prosper podcast." Well, thank you so much, Gina. I'm thrilled that the podcast is giving you a fresh perspective that you're looking for. Keep prospering, and I can't wait to share more episodes with you. So ladies, reviews like yours help me tailor content to better serve your needs. Would you mind sharing what you think by leaving a quick review today? It takes just a minute of your day, but it makes a lasting impact on my growing podcast. Thanks, and I can't wait to read what you have to say. You've worked hard for years to build your career, especially in a highly skilled profession. You have a good reputation in your field of work, yet you are ready for a change. And every time you think about making that change, the guilt creeps in. And so you're at a crossroads. You're stuck between playing it sort of safe in a career that no longer fulfills you, or actually going after what you really want. You need to make a decision about your career path, but does this mean that you're going to be any less of a mother because you're giving up some sort of stability along with that? I can see that inside you're battling so much guilt. I know that because I was there at one point myself. You're struggling with wanting more than to be just a mom, and you feel torn between loving your kids so much and wanting to do all of these other things that you need to do for yourself. You keep putting your own needs and dreams on hold, and you have been constantly serving others, sometimes at your own expense. So you're wondering, am I being selfish? Is this so crazy for me to want to pursue this dream while I'm in this very busy season of motherhood? Why don't I just stick with my stable job that I'm already highly qualified for? But here's the problem. On one hand, The stay-at-home mom community has been glorifying this sort of self-sacrificing mother, while companies, employers, are expecting women to work with this feverish ambition as if they don't actually have families at home that they need to go back to and also nurture. So, like I said, on one hand, we're being told that good moms put everyone else first, and then on the other hand, corporate success implies that pursuing personal ambitions means choosing between success and family. What I want to ask you is, why should you have to choose? Every mom deserves to lead both her family and her career without guilt. I understand this completely because, like I said, I've been there. A few years after becoming a mom, I found myself inching my way out of my full-time job because I thought that that's what I needed to do to be a good mom. I stepped away from my research career, I put my interests on hold, and I told myself that I would get back to all of that someday. But that someday kept getting pushed further and further away. And I found myself really restless, aimless, and lost, and I knew that I needed to stay active professionally too. I wanted to express myself, and I wanted to have impact in the world, and I started exploring multiple ways that I could do this, both at home and at work. As I was doing this, I started to feel really guilty for wanting a career that worked for me instead of the other way around. I didn't want to go back to the work that I had been doing before motherhood, or at least the way I was working before motherhood. So I was really torn between the successful professional that I used to be and the present mom that I really wanted to be. And as some of you know, I then went through a lot of trial and error and eventually found my way back. There have been multiple points in my life where I have been able to talk to my employer and actually creating a position based on what I wanted. I was able to suggest my own job title and description. I eventually switched over to independent consulting where I had complete autonomy over which projects I got to say yes to and which ones I got to say no to. So I have actually navigated so many career pivots. Some were big and some were small shifts, and through all of that, I now have a wealth of knowledge and information about how to really navigate that. And so today, part of what I do when I coach other high-achieving moms through my designed life method is for moms to empower themselves so that they can turn their ideal life into their real life. And one of the biggest things that I learned through all of this is that when you reframe your ambition as leadership, not this sort of rebellious act of selfishness, you can actually unlock a mindset shift that is going to empower you and your entire family. Because when you reframe your career change into something that is a strategic move and you see it as a way to improve your family quality or for you to actually be building some sort of asset rather than it being a purely selfish choice. When you open your eyes to the full picture that a career change can actually add more meaning into your life and that correlates to an improvement in your family's life, then you can freely pursue, and by that I mean choose, your career path without the weight of guilt. So what I'm going to share today is basically a mindset shift where you are going to learn how to position yourself as maybe your family's chief strategist instead of just a single role, maybe where you've pigeonholed yourself as just a caretaker or somebody who manages the home. When you make this shift, everything is going to shift. It's not that you're choosing yourself over other people. You're choosing a model that makes your entire family more resilient. It's going to help you create more financial flexibility and build a life where everyone thrives. So when you find yourself feeling guilty about wanting to adjust or shift or reset your career, I want you to use these 3 steps to fully make this mindset shift. The first one is the mental reframe that you have to do. The second step is an anchoring exercise. And the third step is to then move forward as a leader. So now I'm going to explain how to do each of these steps. So the first step is a mental reframe. And what this involves is to go from thinking that I'm choosing me over them to saying we will all gain more stability when I invest in my skills or I get a new job. This mental reframe is moving you out of thinking of things in terms of I will, which can feel like a selfish act, to seeing it more as a family decision because you're going to help your entire family with your career change. I know this feels like it's easier said than done, but I'm going to give you a very concrete way to activate this reframe. But before I do that, I want to explain why this works, because I think that if you understand the why behind it, you're going to be more likely to be able to recall and use it when you need to. So it turns out that guilt and strategic thinking activate completely different neural pathways. When you trigger guilt, that actually activates the amygdala's threat response area of your brain. But when you are thinking about things in terms of we will and how to benefit a larger group, this is more strategic thinking, and it actually activates your prefrontal cortex, which is associated with long-term thinking and logical thinking. And so with this mental reframe, we're moving you out of that amygdala and into the more logical side of your brain. The we will mindset is going to position you as a family leader, not somebody who's being really selfish. Leaders don't wait for permission, but that's not selfish. They're actually doing what's needed for the group. They're proactively strategizing, you're innovating, you're acting, you're actually doing something about it. And what you're doing is driving the whole group towards something better. That's the opposite of selfishness. So one of the easiest ways to shift from guilty thinking to strategic thinking is to actually write it down. Think about all the things that is triggering guilt when you think about your career change, right? Maybe it's, I'm being selfish for wanting to leave my stable job, or I should be grateful for what I already have, right? Write those things down. Great. But now, take each statement and rewrite it into a we will statement. That's going to connect your career change to all the benefits it's going to have to your family. So, for example, you could say, we will all gain more financial flexibility when I pursue work that energizes me. Or we will benefit from having a mom who models resilience and growth. Writing it down also activates another part of your brain, and it actually formalizes the concept in your mind a little better into your long-term thinking, actually. Now, I like to do this in my journal, but a pro tip is to take it, put it on a sticky note, and place it in different places of your house so that you're actually rereading the we will statement and reinforcing that idea in your head. Now, for the second step, I want you to anchor your career change with something really stable, like a value, or even more than one value. The thing is that guilt is an emotion, but our values, especially our core values, are really stable guides. So when you're able to articulate how your choices are serving your values, it's actually going to cause a lot less decision regret and stress. So to complete this, I want you to go into the show notes and download my values alignment worksheet. I've presented this exercise multiple times before in other episodes, but let me redescribe how to use it for the purposes of a career change. In this case, I want you to actually take your family's top 3 to 5 core values. Some examples are like growth or security or authenticity or presence. And I want you to create 3 columns on a piece of paper and write down what those core values are. In the second column, I want you to write how career change serves this value. And then in the third column, I want you to label concrete indicator. So let's say growth is a core value for your family. So how your career change serves it could be that by you learning new skills, you're now modeling lifelong learning for your kids. And then a concrete indicator for that value is maybe that you are going to complete a certification within 6 months. Here's another example. Let's say presence, you being a present mom, is a core value. How your career change can serve that value is that maybe you're going to switch to a career that allows flexible hours and it allows you to attend more school events, for example. A concrete indicator for that then would be, let's say, you being able to attend 90% of school activities versus your current rate, which could be less than 50%. Maybe it's like 30 or 40%. So when guilt creeps in, I want you to return to this worksheet. And if your career change aligns with your values and your family's values, the guilt is basically just some external voice, and it's not the reality for your life. So you can actually use this, like your life plan, as a decision-making filter when it comes to career change. So you want to create a life that actually works for you instead of the other way around, but you feel like it's going to be so hard, so much time and energy. Listen, my designed life method is going to teach you how to stop doing the things that don't serve you anymore. It is a clear action plan built just for you. You don't have to spend years feeling lost in motherhood. or keep putting your own desires on hold, I'm going to show you how to get clarity on what you truly want, both at home and at work, so you can finally invest time, energy, and money into yourself without any guilt. We are going to build your personalized life plan together in just 4 transformative steps. And you can even start with a free life audit call. It's an exploratory call to see exactly where you're stuck. This is the same approach that I use to navigate all of the changes that I've made in my life, including career pivots, so that I can still stay present for my kids. Literally, we are going to make a life plan that's easy, purposeful, and aligned with your values. So book your free exploratory call with me using the link in the show notes, and I'm going to show you how to get this done faster than you ever thought possible. Together, we're going to map out how you can create the life you truly want, build a career that works for you, and help you achieve your ambitious mom life. You won't have to choose between your family and your dreams. So I hope you choose yourself, because that's also choosing your family. And you can do that by clicking the link to the free call in the show notes. And the third step is for you to start practicing being a leader. So this is changing the way you think, the way you talk, the way you act, and the choices that you make. You have to start doing these things from a position of leadership rather than a defensive one. You have to have a sense of self-efficacy or self-trust, as Brené Brown says. You need to start believing in your capacity to be able to not just get things done, but also manage the situation and drive towards something, right? Leaders aren't just people who execute on things. They're actually driving a whole group of people towards something better, something that unifies them all. That is what I want you to do for your family. This is the plan that I want you to use to start shifting in your career with more confidence. I want you to ditch all of that guilt, because if you implement this plan properly, then you are going to have a much brighter future. For example, 5 years from now, you can see yourself thriving in a career that's really aligned with who you are. You wake up energized rather than dreading your workday. You're confidently attending all of your kids' activities, and your kids can even see that you're pursuing meaningful work and learning new things, and they're developing their own courage to try new things as well. There are so many benefits to your family, but most importantly, when you look in the mirror, you're going to start to recognize yourself again. You're not just a mom, you're a woman who is honoring both her family and her potential. But instead, if you let that guilt fester, then what's going to happen? That is all going to now morph into resentment. You're going to start to wonder several years from now, what would have happened if you had had the courage to try and change your career? Instead, you're just stuck in the same position you were at. Nothing has changed, except you becoming more run down. You might even look at other moms who made their career changes and feel this pang of jealousy. So this choice is yours. You can try to ditch all of that guilt and start looking at your career change as an opportunity for you to lead your family into a better life. It's not just for yourself. And when you do, your future self and your family, they're going to thank you for it. So let's recap what we covered today about overcoming guilt when it comes to wanting to change your career path while being a mom. The plan is to first do a mental reframe, anchor your change with your values, and then 3, shift into a position of leadership. This is going to allow you to confidently pursue a career that works for you while you are still present for your family. If you're ready to stop feeling stuck and start building a career that excites you without the overwhelm, then I'd really love to help you. So make sure you book that free exploratory call using the link in the show notes, and let's create that personalized plan for your career transformation or any change really that you want to make towards a stronger future. So keep taking those brave steps forward, and I'll see you in the next episode with more strategies to help you achieve your ambitious mom life. I hope today's episode will help you create time and freedom to pursue something you love to do. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and tell other purpose-driven mamas about it. Who knows? You might even make a new friend by sharing a tip. It's all free. By the way, it would be amazing to hear what you think about the show when you leave a review on Apple Podcasts. After all, my passion is to make this a great experience for you. I'll see you next week for another episode of Achieve Your Ambitious Mom Life with Anoki Kapasi.